Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How's everybody tonight? Well, we got a lot of news to cover. I thought I'd put this little joke on the screen for everybody to read, take a look at. Forget gold, forget silver. Canned goods and ammunition. But anyway, we'll see who all gets in the live stream tonight. And I want to thank everybody that helped me out last week with Buy Me a Coffee. I've got a link in the description. If anybody wants to help the channel out, it'd be greatly appreciated. But anyway, I hope you all like. Let me see if I can pull that puppy up. The truth will defend itself. And let me see. I'll pull that thumbnail up in case y'all didn't get to see it. I like it. There we go. I'm getting good at making them things. There you go. I'm hiding behind the truth. Can you find a better way to hide from? Got that Donald Trump hair. So, one thing I didn't get to talk about last night, about 4 or 5 broadcasts ago, I said Trump had mentioned during his one of his rallies, he said the missiles from Iran, they landed a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. They just were a little bit off. Someday I'll tell you about that story. Well, he went about 4 days, did a couple of other speeches, and what did he tell us? Well, when he hit back at Iran in the Syria situation, he thumped them good. Well, he said he got a phone call. And they said, we got to strike back. And he said, yeah, I expect you to. I do. And they said, well, now wait a minute. Don't get excited. Don't get upset because they said it in a way that to let Trump know they were going to miss on purpose. And he said, those are very accurate missiles. And they just went a little to the left, a little to the right. And he said, we had an understanding. And that they took the worst of it. They put up a show, and that's all it was a show. He said, I've never told this story before. So we had to wait a couple of speeches for the answer to that, and we got it. So, hi, Andrew. How you doing? Hi, Bubba. Linda, B-Dog. Whoa, gosh. Chats are flying. Where'd I leave off at? Nikki B. Lucy, how you doing? Cindy. Wild West. Mary. Kim. Hi, Alan. Debbie. Henri. Yeah, gave me a thumbs up. Hi, Damon. Hi, Mary. Angel, how you doing? Redhausen, how you doing? Cliff, everybody's rolling in. That's good to see. I hope everybody's doing well. And stocked up on what I had on the screen earlier. So, yeah, awesome hair. That's a mane, isn't it? Hi, Sissy. Hello, Mr. Kibler. Yes, Nikki said, please hit the thumbs up. Just while you got it on your mind, just jump out there and tap that podge it, as we say out here in the sticks, podge that button. I am. Araceli, how are you? Nice to see you. Camperman. I'm looking. Just see. Well, anyway. So, yeah. Let me get my former warning up there. There we go. So, anyway, there's a number of things that Trump said that piques our interests now and again. But, I was on Telegram snooping around. as I am wont to do at times, because I'm nosy. I'm a snoop. But I saw, oh, well, there's somebody I hadn't looked at in a long time. Well, because they're no longer with us, and that's Kirsten W. And it said something like, now a lot of you remember Kirsten W. And some of you, I didn't agree with everything she said. We've been over that. But she, believed in what she was doing. She came up with good stuff, and some of the stuff was kind of kooky. Excuse me while I get a sip of my coffee. You ran him out of Maine, huh, Wes? So anyway, it said something on there like there's going to be like so many weeks and the messages start getting scrubbed because she's no longer with us, right? So I said, well, let me click on that. I haven't looked at her page in a long time. And it was on October, I think, 11th of 2021. And I got a screenshot of something she put up. It was one of the first things right here. Back in 2021, just before she passed away. So I don't know if you've got that to put in your quiver of Georgie Porgy Soriosio, the 27th richest man in the world. And I'm sure there's a lot more puppet strings coming off of there. So it was just a little trip down memory lane. It made me remember a lot of the notions we used to have, a lot of the excitement. We were thinking something was going to happen, and something is going to happen. But we've been wheedled along here. Here's something else that was right there where I clicked on the screen. She had this. Bill Gates said healthcare and VA and, X's would reduce unsustainable population growth in 2010 TED talk. So this was, we're pointing this out, posting it. A lot of people don't believe it, but here, this is from 2021, where he came up with it. I didn't poke around on very much at all, but I found a black and white picture of Donald Trump, and it was a repost from Dan Scavino, I guess on Telegram. And underneath this black and white picture of Trump, giving the camera a very serious look, it was a quote from Trump that said, "I don't want them." How can I word this without getting in trouble? It was his quote from election night. He said, "I don't want anything happening in the middle of the night. There's not supposed to be any votes cast after election day because I'm worried about what they're going to do with the election." And I said, gee, I'm going to get a shot of that. And I went to get a screenshot of it. And first time I ever saw this on Telegram, it said a little notice on top of the phone said, "Screenshot failed. Your program or the sender's program, something like that, will not allow a screenshot." I said, "What, are you kidding me?" So there's a couple ways I could take screenshots. I tried both ways, and I couldn't get a screenshot of that particular post. So I don't know if you all know Kirsten W. and go on her Telegram. There's a lot of old school stuff on there because it's going to go away. Hi, Lone Wolf. How you doing? Hi, Annette. Quilt. How you doing? So anyway, yeah, Linda, she was up and down like a yo-yo. It's just a shame she put her faith in people that she shouldn't have, and she didn't stay home when she was feeling bad. But there she is, right there, Kirsten. Am I saying that right? Kirsten W. on Telegram, and they're going to get erased. But she posted this about A.G. Garland's family is likely making millions in its critical race platform being pushed in U.S. schools. His speaking out about it is a conflict of interest. And then you see the family right there. I guess her daughter-in-law or son, or daughter and son-in-law, I don't know. And then the next article was, this was the first one I saw. And I said, boy, isn't this apropos? From the Gateway Pundit, and a video attached. Illegal immigrant trafficker warns Americans, we're leaving for Tapachula, and we are ready for war, W-A-R, war. And that's what I was trying to say last night. That's how money gets laundered. Trump put out a short video, no welfare for people who are here unlawfully. You can bet that all these coyotes, they get a cut every month of whatever benefits these people receive. You and I are paying for that coyote business. Where's that one meme I had that's probably going to get me in trouble? Here, I'll put it up anyway. Whether I get in trouble or not. There you go. $56 billion in cash to their home country last year. And that's after the kids enjoyed free education. You see it on the screen there. Free lunches and free medical care paid for by you. And not only that, a lot of schools are handing out breakfasts. So, boy, I tell you, we wonder, how come people can't get their lights cut on? What is taking so long to get people's lights cut on? Well, I put this up on True Social. It might be part of the reason. Let me find it. Here we go. 25% of liberals are on medication for mental illness. That's scary. It means that 75% are running around untreated. Ha ha ha. So that's one of the reasons why it's taken them so long. So long to come around. Well, that's not all. And I think that number is low. Here's something somebody posted about this character here. TikToker, and you see what kind of TikToker it is, freaks out after AI filter keeps, quote, misgendering him. So there he is on the left with his makeup on, his fingernails, all happy and smiling. Man, I feel like a woman. And AI on the right there puts out a drawing of him. He asked for it. And the one in the middle shows you his dissatisfaction, also known as dysphoria. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel sorry for especially the ones that are underage, but I don't know what we're going to do about it. I don't know what we're going to do with them because we got a lot of them. And this is part of the reason right here. I told everybody right when it happened. And you don't hear it being reported on. But this ex-CNN producer, John Griffith, settles lawsuit with 9-year-old girl. Okay? That SA in a Vermont home. That's the words we use. SA. Okay, that's the two initials. The suit was filed on behalf of the girl, now 11. Boy, what a sick BAS dardo, right? And Connecticut. Boy, what we got going on in Connecticut. That judge overturning that mayoral race. I read an article about that. And they're going to have the election the day before because the judge said, I don't think I have the power to stop the election. But the day after, they're going to pick who should be the Democrat nominee the day after the election's being held. So anyway, it's weird. So we got that going on. This is going on. This Connecticut court case. They sought $15 million, and I don't know if it's going to be disclosed what the settlement was, but I'm sure it's going to be hefty, and he's going to be gone for many years. And you also had those reports. I think I put one of them up where a guy in Connecticut, a lot of people in Connecticut were being followed home to their garages, and they get out of the car and they were going to go in the house, and a bunch of hoods follow them, and they don't, they're not used to this kind of stuff. Well, they better get used to it. They get carjacked, held up, mugged right in their own garage. So Trump alluded to that when he was up in New Hampshire, where this stuff is coming home to roost for them. But anyway, it's good to see that this creepo, too bad it's not being reported around very much. That needs to be, there were two of them, two producers. Hi, William, how you doing? Yeah, put them in the wood chipper, Eames. That's right. Oh, what happened, Nikki B? Oh, YouTube, yeah. Yeah, they took the video down? Uh-uh-uh. Hi, Alicia. So, anyway, yeah, we got to walk on eggshells, don't we? I'm always walking on eggshells. So, anyway, good news. Now, this picture I had a couple of days ago, but there's a new article out, but this one's close enough. Judge Cannon will delay DOJ's trial against Trump in seized documents case. Pre-trial deadlines temporarily stayed, pending order to follow. Well, let me tell you, this stuff is going along the way the White Hats want it to go. They're in control. Trump has given us plenty of hints, and we can go over some of those. But let's see. There was another article, a news story that Steve Leto put out that has something to do with this. Unanimous court denies immunity to home search judge. Unanimous court denies immunity to home search judge. This is where a judge in a divorce case, now this went to the appellate court and was a unanimous decision stripping the judge of judicial immunity. We've talked in the past about sovereign immunity, qualified immunity for police, now judicial immunity, prosecutorial immunity, and they abuse it, okay? And this is the case with Trump and this in Dorgeron or wherever his name is, and Gorderon. I don't think he's going to survive. If somebody tries to pierce his judicial immunity out, they're going to be successful. He's abusing. One of the things that one of the appellate judges wrote in their opinion was that if citizens are required to live by laws, then judges are required to follow the Constitution. Now, this was in West by God, Virginia, and that is the proper way to describe the state. Okay? It says it on the map, West by God, Virginia. Depends on which map you got. But anyway, this judge was handling a divorce case, and the wife said, he's got some of my stuff in his house. And the judge gets everybody and goes over to the house with a bailiff, the ex-wife and the husband, and the judge goes in the house. Now, why she was barefoot, I don't know. Maybe she didn't want to mess up the carpet or whatever. But anyway, they went to the house, and it was stupid stuff like CDs and I don't know, just it wasn't like there was a King Louis the 16th armoire in the corner or something like that. Very mundane stuff. But this judge was, overstepping her bounds. And, I'm pointing to it because it's so rare that judicial immunity will be denied or removed. Now, it's rare when judges get removed from the bench. I've seen it happen. I don't know about how much detail I can get into, but it was a judge that just was not getting it and did not appear to have the competency required to do the job. Not that they were a bad person. Did happen to be a liberal, by the way. But one afternoon, there was a new judge. And it was quietly done, but this situation wasn't so quiet. So, and the fact that it was unanimous. I mean, it's not like she ordered the guy put in jail, tasered, and locked up for 6 months without trials. Oh, who am I talking about there? J6 people, right? It was over what we would call, rather minor items. The behavior was, over the top, but it was not any worse than sending the FBI into Mar-a-Lago. She didn't put this husband in jail for 2 years without a trial. And Judge Cannon is pointing out a lot of prosecutorial abuse in this Jack Smith case. So it sets a precedent, folks. It sets a precedent. Speaking of, how about this? People doubt what's going on. I think it was drop number 29, I think. Those who have resigned or declined to run have submitted. Okay, so here's this guy Buck, and Donald Trump put out a truth saying, "Yeah, it's good news. Got rid of this bum. He's a rhino. He needed to go." But anyway, let's let him tell it. And this one that's interviewing him, I showed her. I think it's Leslie Stahl. I showed her when she started her career back during Ronald Reagan's reelection in 1984. That's how long this woman has been up to her elbows. And she's also the one who was interviewing or presenting the report on Trump supporters about Liz Cheney. And she acted like she was drunk. I don't know if you all remember that or not. At the end, the voters were saying, we just don't want Liz Cheney. She didn't do what she's supposed to do. She's not a Republican. And she took a historic beating. But Leslie Stahl was slurring her words and saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe these crazy Trump supporters believe the election was stolen. But anyway, here she is, the same old bat. And you'll hear her supposed surprise, when he tells her he's bowing out.
How do you unite behind complicated decisions with such a thin margin? What about your own role?
Yeah, well, I have decided, Andrea, I'm not going to seek re-election.
You too?
Yeah, I am joining Kay and probably some others in the near future, but I've decided that it is time for me to do some other things. I'm always have been disappointed with our inability in Congress to deal with major issues, and I'm also disappointed that the Republican Party continues to, rely on this lie that the 2020 election was stolen and rely on the January 6th narrative and the political prisoners from January 6th and other things. If we're going to solve difficult problems, we've got to deal with some very unpleasant truths or lies and make sure that we project to the public what the truth is.
Well, let me pick.
Oh, did you hear him catch himself there? He said, we got to deal with some very unpleasant truths. I mean, lies. And then we have to put out to the public what the truth is. Well, if you're so hot on doing that, why are you stepping down? Okay? Because you've been made to. That's why. Plus, you'll get Liz Cheney'd. You'll get run over like a steamroller, and you know it. So I'd like to put that little Bart Simpson character, that kid where he's pointing and going, ah-ha. I'd like to put that right next to him and laugh in his face. But anyway, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. Here we got now Roseanne Barr. I don't know if you all have heard her or not, but she gets out there and she drops bombs. She'll come out and say, I believe Trump's commander-in-chief. She'll say it. She'll say, I believe we're in continuity government. I forget whose show she did it on. But anybody whose show she go on, she'll say it. And here you see Mr. T giving a thumbs up. And Roseanne said, thank you for the birthday wishes. My president was getting to meet the twice elected president of the United States. So, yeah. Trump is not distancing himself from her or what she's saying. And I tell you, it's just coming out more and more. That's right, Chris. How you doing, Christopher? Yeah, that Buck guy dipping out. We're going to find out stuff. Here we go, Fox News. They're even though people get mad at them, if you see a news report that you're like, oh, how'd that get out in the news? It's usually a Fox News report. So anyway, mask required in certain settings, again in California. So it's Gavin Newsom. He's coming up with the NWO garbage. Where is he at? I got something for him right here. The Babylon Bee put this out about Gavin Newsom. Wage increase so people can afford products made more expensive by previous minimum wage increase. See, they got it all figured out. Don't worry. You all worry too much. They got it all straightened out. Here's one. Here's one for you. This is what we got to worry about, folks, right here. And that's why Trump's announcement about the American Academy. One of my next videos, I do a picture show. I'm gonna record. I think it's like 2.5 minutes long, something like that. Thomas Jefferson said, "The greatest threat to democracy was the ignorance of the masses." And Trump is going to go through as part of his Agenda 47 is have American-centric educational system, okay, known as American Academy, giving out bachelor's degrees that have to be accepted by all government entities, okay? So, if somebody gets through to a bachelor's degree in education and has not been infected with Marxism or liberalism, that's the threshold. They'll never change. You'll never see them wearing a Che Guevara shirt if they can get past a bachelor's level degree. And at no cost, from home, okay, we're going to have a lot more intelligent people. And, even with people we don't agree with, they get interested in something and they go after it. Do you ever notice that? Sometimes they'll go down rabbit holes they shouldn't. We all know that. Or they talk about things too much. But like this Che Guevara stuff. Stanford, all the colleges I talked about, I won't repeat myself from last night. They all push this garbage that he was a hero. They come out with all these freaky notions. Most people wearing the Che Guevara shirt would have been KIL'd, the rest of it, by Che Guevara. And that's not what they're being taught in schools, but that is the natural fact. So, here's one I've had for a while. What is this? Caught my eye. What's going on here? What's this say? Oh my gosh. I'm not supposed to put that up there. You all know what that is. Well, let me keep the letter out of there. I won't get in trouble, maybe. Anonymous user on 4chan. Yeah. So I don't know. There it was. So these are old. I'm way down in the studio. What am I doing down here? Let's see what I had down here. New text messages reveal FBI friends with judge in Flynn case. Well, guess what, folks? That judge in the Flynn case was the same judge that caused problems for Ted Stevenson, senator from Alaska, and gave Obama control of the Senate during his first term. And that's how we ended up with a third of our economic system, being the healthcare system, being nationalized like a communist program. So anyway, this is very interesting. It shows the tangled web they weave. And I got to get out of here because this is stuff I was going to go over on a post a long time ago. Wait a minute. here's something else I should show y'all. Another YouTube ad. YouTube. No, this is Netflix. Netflix releases a children's cartoon. 2GAY for Disney. Ain't that something? And who's on the board in Netflix? Barack and Michelle. Here we go. I'll put this up and then I'll get out of the older stuff that I had in my studio. Anyway, let me see. I get this Fox News report out of the way. I can see what everybody's talking about. I'll check the chats. Oh gosh, I had a lot of good stuff in here. I ought to do a. I must have 200 items in here. Well, I don't even know. I can't see them because it gets so small. But let me see what's going on here in the chats. Ha ha. Yeah, it was sick, wasn't it? That's right. It was never bad enough to shut down the border. So, anyway. Do any of you all go on Kick? I keep getting notifications because I'm subscribed to somebody that's on Kick. I adjusted my notifications. So now I know I'm sitting here talking to y'all. Boop, I get a notification. Boop, I get another Frank speech. Boop, Frank or NPC show on Kick. So I'm like, Anyway, here you go. Why things would not be the way they are now if Trump had stayed in office. And I got a clip of Lindsey Graham talking about this very thing here. You see the way Trump is being treated. And remember, Saudi Arabia was the keystone. Now, I know Lindsey Graham pukes a lot of people out. They call him Auntie Lindsey, Aunt Lindsey. I don't know, if he's got a little pillbox hat and a carriage purse and high heels. That's what they say. I don't know. But anyway, like Trump says, he comes through when you need him. And he came through for Kavanaugh in a very memorable way. And he had Dianne Feinstein's head turn gray when he talked about what could happen to unlawful combatants who also happen to be American citizens. Okay, remember that? I'll play that clip one day. But here he is talking about Trump. And, hey, he's got to play both sides, okay?
Now, why am I with Trump? I like both Nikki and Tim. I believe it'll end pretty quickly. Whether you like Trump or not, there was order in the world that's been lost.
Well, Trump just recently said that he thought Hezbollah was smart. I mean, should someone who said something like that be president of the United States?
Yeah, well, he killed Soleimani, and I don't think Hezbollah is smart.
But he said that.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, if he were president of the United States, Hamas would not have attacked Israel. I really believe that. Putin wouldn't invade in Ukraine because they're afraid of the guy. Nobody's afraid of Biden. A lot of people are afraid of Trump.
Senator Graham.
Senator Graham, did you catch that? He was talking about Putin, and he was talking about the leaders of Hamas. But at the end, he said, a lot of people are afraid of President Trump. And he's not leading. He's talking about everybody that's going to have to answer for this stuff, including some of these news broadcasters. I don't know about this chick here. She's new on the scene. And from the times I've seen her do interviews, she's fairly reasonable. But the biggest thing she could throw out there is Trump said that Hamas is smart. He shouldn't say things like that. Well, they sure in hell ain't dumb. And like Lindsey Graham said, he killed a KILED Soleimani, Trump did. But that's what Trump said when he said they called me first, and then the missiles were a little bit too much to the left, a little bit too much to the right. And he said that's because they're smart. Why did he say they were smart? Because if they took those highly accurate missiles and didn't put them a little to the left and a little to the right, Trump would have squashed them like a bug, and they knew it. But they had to save face. They got permission ahead of time. So that is smart if you're going to save yourself from getting annihilated. But here is a little blast from the past. This is, when was this? 2013. 2 years before he announced on the golden escalators. I believe things were, I know things were in the works back in 2013.
Larry, I have a great business. I love doing it. It's my passion. It's my pride. Look at buildings like this. I mean, I do it really well. Nobody does it better. I just bought Doral in Miami recently. It's going to be fantastic.
That.
Oh, really?
I IMC the opening of Doral.
Well, it's 800 acres in Miami, and the old post office on Pennsylvania
Avenue,
about that which we're building. So many different things we're doing. They're so excited. The Apprentice continues to be great.
So you don't want to run for it?
Well, I'd rather not, but I also want this country to be great again. And this country is not, it's going the wrong direction.
So why not run? Well, I'll tell you something.
I'll see what
Honestly,
happens.
You've had all these business successes. What more do you need?
I understand that. I'll see what happens. First of all, you have an election coming up in 2014, which we'll see. And I'm going to help some people that are good people.
Both parties?
Probably not, to be honest. I have a pretty conservative view on things, and probably not. But I'll be helping some people, and we'll see after 2014, and I'll make a decision.
Yeah, so he's giving a little foreshadowing. And if you'll remember, at Trump's inauguration, there was a limousine on fire that they kept showing when everybody was tearing up the streets and raising hell during Trump's inauguration. They call that a peaceful transfer of power, but that limousine was Larry King's. Just a little blast from the past, if you all will recall. So anyway, Trump is being very unequivocal about who is going to get thrown the HE double hockey sticks out of this country and why they're going to get thrown out. What he is talking about, everything that he's talking about, is not rhetoric. It's not insults. He's using legal terms. He's using terms that will hold up in a court of law or a military commission. And the press always tries to play him off as a bully or a foolish insulter or something like that. But this kind of behavior right here is going to get people thrown the hell out. Her message to Joe Biden. When Joe Biden said yesterday he was calling for a ceasefire. Well, today, the Pentagon came out and said, we're not for a ceasefire. And then Joe came out again in support of Israel. He backpedaled. First, he backpedaled on his support for Israel, wanting a ceasefire. The Pentagon went against him in a public statement, so he backpedaled away from the ceasefire. Well, Rashida Tlaib says the majority of American people are not with you on this one. Ceasefire now. But this business of Michigan from the river to the sea, that kind of talk. The river to the sea is a chant that they all put out to annihilate Israel. We're not going to put up, especially in colleges and from naturalized so-called citizens in our government, calling for the annihilation of anybody, any established nation, terrorist groups or roustabouts or whatever. Okay, we'll wipe them out. But we're not going to generalize over people for their religion, race, or anything else. So the shoe's on the other foot of who they're always pointing the finger at for behaving in that way. I try to keep it cool, Wild West. I try to watch what I'm saying. Yes, indeed. So, Rashida Tlaib, keep an eye on her. And of course, we know the other one, what's her face? I can't think of it, this Somalian. But here we had this. This came out yesterday. I noticed some posts on True Social and Telegram, but New York Post put it on the front page. New York Post. Mayor Adams, chief fundraiser, raided by Phoebe. That's how you say that, Phoebe, over, quote, kickback scheme involving Turkish government, Turkey and the skimmings. Okay? We were told Christopher Wray, Trust Wray, somebody's in what they call deep cover. Okay, they got to say and do some things. But the thing to remember about Christopher Wray's Phoebe is that he designated Hamas as a terror group along with the bunch over there in Ukrizzle. AZ, okay, OV are designated as certain groups. And that doesn't fly very well with these two right here. But they got to live with it. And the other thing was that Chris Wray's Phoebe also put in a report, official report, there was no insurrection on January 6th. And they are an arm of the Department of Justice that makes these calls. I'll get into that in a minute. But Biden administration announces another $425 million to Crizzle. So $300 million in long-term funding. What's that, a week? And $125 million in equipment. They've got to be using some kind of Defense Department discretionary funding because Congress has been inactive on that issue, even though they passed $14 billion for the House passed 14 some billion for Israel to take out of the IRS budget, but that's still got to go through the Senate. That's how the game works, folks. Got to have both houses, the House and the Senate. Well, the importance of this Chris Wray not designating January 6th as a terror incident comes into play with, let me see, where's that article? Where they want to keep Mr. T off the ballot, right? Where's that article I had? And that is in Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. Now, bear with me on this because I got something I want to say. Here we go. Trump, the Hill. 14th Amendment disqualification efforts reaches, Minnesota Supreme Court. I'm sorry. There's something going on in Colorado I want to talk about too. Efforts to keep former President Trump off the ballot on the 14th Amendment reached the Minnesota Supreme Court, but the case is being brought by a Colorado-based nonprofit group, okay? Several, oral arguments with several judges appearing wary that they should be the ones to determine Trump's eligibility. The case brought by a left-leaning nonprofit is one of multiple ones across the country. Let me see. Here. What we got here? Whoa, where'd it go? I had it up there. There we go. Get up there. Seeking to prevent Trump from returning to the presidency under the clause, which provides that anyone who took an oath to support the Constitution but then engaged in insurrection or rebellion cannot hold office. Concerns several legal issues the nonprofit must prevail on so their case can move ahead. Does the clause apply to presidents? Can the provision be enforced without legislation from Congress? Is the issue a political question outside of the court's authority? Well, there were a lot of more questions that were being asked. But one of them didn't get asked, which I found was interesting. How about you got to be found guilty of it first? Of course. That's law school 101, I would imagine. So, but what about this Colorado business? Colorado. Where'd she go? Whoops, this isn't it. Let me get that up. Get that off there and get something else up. Laura Loomer. I won't call her Loopy Loomer because she's somebody else that can be a little polarizing. But anyway, she put up a series of posts concerning, let me see if this is it, concerning this Colorado group. Let me see if this is it. Yeah, let me see. Is this it? Yeah, Laura Loomer. Did you know dumb onion voting systems? Okay. I can't say the stuff they're talking about, but they were at the center of the controversy surrounding the 2020 election and was founded in 2003. Its headquarters is located in Denver, Colorado. Also, this exact year that Sorosio Finance Crew was founded, and the same time Michael Huttner's Progress Now company was founded in Denver, Colorado. Denver, Colorado. Let's see. Is now where the crew has filed a lawsuit that is in trial this week in Colorado to ban President Trump. I believe they're also behind the Michigan one. Stick with me now. From the ballot in 2024. It seems like Denver, Colorado is ground zero for the deep state's election rigging efforts. Well, what's the big deal with that? Of course, what she's reporting is a big deal. Okay? They've all been funded by Georgie Porgy Sorosio. They're the ones running around here with this phony lawfare business, which I know is going to be criminalized. And part of their strategies, I believe, are already fraudulent. Trump has said that about Goron and Letitia James. They're defrauding him. So, but do you all remember when I said, remember the two words, Castle Rock? Remember that, folks? I've talked about it a number of times. Castle Rock. That's in Colorado. And it was also something brought up in a certain letters post. Secret Service is in charge of money laundering, international money laundering, counterfeiting, all kinds of stuff, not just protecting the president and family members. They're involved in a lot of stuff. And I told you about that article I saw where they opened up a branch office in Castle Rock. And then the article disappeared. Why would they be all the way over there in Colorado? And now we see where Laura Loomer's showing us that seems to be ground zero for these people. It's going to be ground zero for them, all right. So anyway, what was this one? Oh, I already did that one. Okay, good. Well, let me see here. What do we got? How's everybody doing out there in the chats? Well, there's a Castle Rock in Colorado. There was a movie called Castle Rock, that Ernest Borgnine was in. You can Google Google it. And it was, I think it was Frank Gorshin's last appearance on television or any movies or anything. And Frank Gorshin played the Riddler in Batman, the television series Batman with Adam West. And Frank Gorshin is in the movie Castle Rock, and it's in Colorado. And there's a town called Castle Rock and a plateau mountain called Castle Rock. So, yeah, look it up. It's pretty interesting. You see Frank Gorshin there, he's up in his age, but it was his last appearance. So, here we go. Now, keep in mind, I know a lot of you may have seen this, but keep in mind that the terms he's used, but the phrases and the terms and the things he's describing are not just gratuitous politics and rhetoric, okay? He's talking in real terms about the survival of this country, about how our country's supposed to operate and what's being done to it and how we're going to defend ourselves.
A fake trial is currently taking place to try and illegally remove. 2024 will be the most important election in the history of our country. The reason for that and that statement is that our country is being destroyed by people that have no idea what they're doing, or even worse, they may very well have an idea. They may hate our country, and they may want to see it destroyed. But it may also be the last election we ever have. If this election doesn't work, if this election is rigged and stolen, will not survive. If Crooked Joe and the Democrats get away with removing my name from the ballot, then there will never be a free election in America again. We will have become a dictatorship where your president is chosen for you. You will no longer have a vote, or certainly won't have a meaningful vote. And you could say, frankly, that that has already begun. This truly is our final chance to save America, and with the 2024 election now less than 1 year away, this is your chance to take a stand against tyrants that support the one and only movement that can save our country and make America great again. We must win in 2024. If we don't win, we will not have a country. If we do win, we will make America greater than it's ever been before. Thank you.
Greater than it's ever been before. That's going to be pretty daggone great. I dropped my phone, but I hope everything's still working. Let me see. Hey, Tennessee, how you doing? Fraggle Rock. Hi, Melvita. Yeah, they got that. Chicago wants to hire. Yeah, that's right. New York, too. Ian, was it? And that airport, yeah, in Colorado, they got that creepy statue. Yeah, that all fits together, doesn't it? What Loomer put up there about these organizations, about them going around trying to keep Trump off the ballot. And like I say, when he puts stuff out, he's laying out the case. He's laying out the case. And a lot of the stuff that he's going through right now is just preparing and laying out evidence so it doesn't have to be all gone over again. Right here it is. So here is something else that Dan Scavino posted, and I didn't get prevented from grabbing a screenshot. For some reason, that one black and white picture with a quote from Trump would not let me get a screenshot. The quote was what he said at about 10 o'clock at night. I don't want anything after today should not count, and that is weird. I don't know why, but this is another clip I got that was posted in October of 2021.
As I've said before, the truth is a force of nature. It's going to come out. Extreme left touches throughout history. It leads to misery and destruction and failure. But with all of you in Iowa and conservative patriots all across the country, we will end their reign of radicalism and we will take back America.
So we're going to take it back. But the truth is a force of nature, folks. No doubt about that. Just scrolling through the comments here, see what's going on. If y'all will remember, I said that 60 Minutes owes Trump. Remember I said that? Well, 60 Minutes put out a clip. They're going to have John Eastman on 60 Minutes. John Eastman is Trump's attorney. They were trying to say was flipping on Trump. John Eastman says they're full of you-know-what. John Eastman is in California defending himself from having his law license being taken away. John Eastman was at the podium January 6th with Donald Trump. John Eastman spoke at the podium. Right beside him, Rudy Giuliani. So we're seeing it come into focus who the big players are. Okay? Trump, Giuliani, John Eastman. So I thought, this upcoming interview with John Eastman is with 60 Minutes. And this may be what I said was stations that were giving Trump attention, giving him a town hall, giving him interviews, they were easing into the Truth and Reconciliation Act. And I said 60 Minutes still owes Trump. Well, I took a screenshot of this 60 Minutes clip. They had screwed with the volume so badly. I'll see if you all can try to hear it, but you hear this interviewer saying, Well, you said there were 10,000 dead voters. There were only 4. You said this and you said that. You gave bad advice, but I'll let you try to listen to it. But what gets me, not only that telegram thing would have let me take a screenshot of Trump's quote on election night, is that I tried to get a screenshot of the 60 Minutes clip of an upcoming, very important interview with the person they're trying to put in jail as Donald Trump's attorney. But they purposely sabotage the volume. But see if you can hear it anyway. I tried to raise it 7 times, okay? And if I did any more, the background sound would have just drowned it all out.
Eastman says he's innocent, and he told us if he was ever guilty of anything, it was giving bold legal advice to Donald Trump. He was among the architects of President Trump's bid to stay in power. One judge called Eastman's strategy a coup in search of a legal theory. You said 2,500 convicts. The investigation found 4. You said 10,000 dead voters. The investigation.
So anyway, they called him the architect of the coup, okay? And they claimed that one judge said Eastman was given bad advice, and I guess you could hear a little bit of the stuff they were slinging at him. So this is going to be a very interesting interview. And I think a lot of it, maybe not this particular interview, but a lot of it is going to be letting people dig their own damn holes. Let them dig their own holes, and that includes these news organizations. They're the first ones that got to go. What's this one here? Eric Trump. The entire world is watching this. They drug the Trump boys. They drugged the Trump boys into this phony trial. There's so many different things with the trying to keep him off the ballot in Colorado, trying to keep him off the ballot in Michigan, trying to sue him in New York, trying to sue his kids in New York, trying to sue him down in Florida, or convict him criminally down in Florida, trying to convict him in D.C. Then you got Fat Albert in the background, back up in New York in another case, and on it goes. If he's so bad, you all should be glad he's going to be the nominee, because intelligent people are not going to want Trump. You should want him to be the opponent. You walk in there with 100 million votes instead of 81 million, right? So why do you need to go through this? Oh, it's just a small group of people that are smart, right? We're really the dumb dummies. You guys are smart. Yeah, here's how smart everybody is. They want to be rich, right? Everybody wants to be rich, get a good paycheck, right? Darren Rovell put this up. 49ers defensive end Eric Armstead shares a game check. He makes $393,000 a game. 49.3% comes out in taxes. Yeah, I'm quiet. That's his FICA and all the crap, okay? That doesn't include if you live in some psycho state like New York with a hideous state tax, or California. Can you imagine? He's already out half his paycheck before the state people get a hold of him. So you brain surgeons keep voting for people like Biden. Here we go. What's this one? Let me see. extensive collaboration between Biden, White House, DOJ, National Archives. They're all working together just like a pack of communists, just like a bunch of apparatchiks. That wasn't done in a vacuum. They didn't just, pick 32 documents out of a hat and say, we'll go with these. Coordinated persecution, okay, deprivation of rights, and there you have it. And by the way, if you want to help out a political prisoner, I don't know how long I can leave that up, but there's the mailing address and the inmate number for Jonathan Owen Schroyer, who didn't even go in the Capitol, and he's got to go sit and cool his heels for 2 months in a damn prison. 3 years after it happens. If y'all want to send him a card and tell him, boy, thank you, boy. Thank you for helping us out. And by the way, this is a viewer-supported and creator-supported channel only. I don't get anything from Utizzle or any other places I go on. I got a link for buy me a coffee in the description if anybody wants to help an old man out. And I appreciate people that's helped in the past week or so. Somebody, okay, Lone Wolf helped me out, and Norm, Angela, Pappy Two Bears, Camperman, Mary, and Aaron, the Godfather. So, anywho, all the brain surgeons tell us how stupid we are for liking Trump. And this is, I've had this in the studio for a while. This shows you just how demented. They got rid of all the cute figurines, and all that's left is this. This is on the shelf in the press room at the White House. Henri's, your popcorn's getting stale. Come on, just pop you some more. This is the greatest show on earth. Embrace it. Now, I set my notifications, and I saw Frank's speech. I got notified twice from Frank's speech. One time from Frank at NPC going live on Kick. And I said, oh, why did I change my notifications? Well, I changed my notifications so I would know quicker when somebody stopped and bought me a coffee. And Camperman just went and bought me a coffee. Now, isn't that the quickest I've ever got the message? Let me get this. I want to put a picture of somebody. I want to blow up because I'm going to set off with some fireworks for Camperman. I appreciate you helping the old man out. If I had a good picture of Joe, I would do my machine gun. Let me see who I can pull up. Let me see. Well, here we go. Here's Sam Scam Stankman fraud. Ashley St. Clair put this up. Somebody put this same meme up and they said, somebody must have bribed the courtroom artist. The boom, 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 boom. Cameraman put him up for me here. I'm off. But anyway, look at how the courtroom artist made Sam Stankman for a fraud look. He's going to go down he's facing 115 years. He's not going to do that. But here we go. Boom. That's one of them. Let me see. What's the next one? I go, pow, pow, pow. Yeah, boom, boom. Where's my bombs? That's what I want to set off a bomb. Boom. Boom. Here we go. Where's my machine gun? Pow, 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 pow. Anyway, thank you, cameraman. I hadn't had a chance to use my special effects in a while. But anyway, remember when that one courtroom artist put up a decent picture of Trump? These people are crazy. Oh, they put up a picture of Trump that looks good. They should put up an evil picture of him up. You know, it's just getting harder and harder to stomach. But we stomach it. Here's Charlie Kirk put this out. Oh, I got something funny from overseas, but I'll put that up in a second. Scam Stankman fraud. The now convicted criminal masterminds of one of the largest financial frauds ever committed donated $5.2 million to Joe Biden. Will Joe Biden give that money back to FTX investors who were robbed by Scam Stankman fraud? No, they're not. They're not going to give it back. I would say no. But here's a lady that had a bad day right here. You can tell with the look on her face, somebody had a bad day. Italy's prime minister's diplomatic advisor resigns after prank call fiasco. Her diplomatic advisor took responsibility for the conversation between Italian Prime Minister Meloni and Russian pranksters and resigned. This may be the same Russian guys that called up Pencil Neck Schiff and said, we have pictures you would want to see naked of Trump, picture of Trump naked. And Schiff, oh, yeah. But anyway, this issue was not resolved properly. We all regret. Ambassador Francesco Talo took responsibility for it, Meloni said. During the phone call, Meloni told pranksters about the international community's, quote, fatigue about the war in Ukraine. Ha, ha, ha. So, things aren't looking good for Zelensky. So we did get, here we go. Part 2 of 2. I get a little more fire in me. Let me get part 1. World Bank. Oh, well, since I got this up, the U.S. military is using unarmed drones over the Gaza Strip to support Israeli efforts to free the hostages. I've also heard they got special forces boots on the ground over there looking for hostages. They just disclosed yesterday 500 Americans in Gaza, and they're not over there as tourists buying jewelry and going to the market. You know, the United States is conducting unarmed drone flights over the Gaza Strip and providing assistance and advisory service to our Israeli partners who's working to free the hostages. And I appeal to the residents of the Gaza Strip, those who contribute to the release of the hostages will be protected. The rest deserve DEATH, said former Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz on Israeli television. So here we go. Part 1. The World Bank. Israel-Hamas conflict pushing oil prices into, quote, uncharted waters. Remember, folks, I said look for $10 gas at some point. The World Bank reported that oil prices could be pushed in uncharted waters as violence intensifies, which could result in increased food prices worldwide. Overall, it's risen 6% since the start of the conflict, and gold has increased roughly 8%. It tends to rise in periods of conflict. The World Bank's Commodity Markets Outlook found that while the effects in oil prices should be limited if the conflict doesn't widen, the outlook would darken quickly if the conflict were to escalate. Dermot Gill, the World Bank's chief economist, remarked, if the global conflict were to escalate, the global economy would face a dual energy shock for the first time in decades. Part 2. The World Bank simulates 3 scenarios in the event of a small, medium, or large disruption. If it's small disruption, as oil prices are expected to decline to an average of $81 a barrel next year, it's over $90 a barrel. Trump had it down to $40. So all these brain surgeons that are talking about Trump not being smart, we're not smart. Remember that football player's check when you're at the gas pump. Nobody. And I've said that for a long time, the hard hand of war. People don't care unless their ox is getting gored. But during a medium disruption, equivalent to the disruptions experienced during the Iraq War, the global oil supply would decline by 3 to 5 million barrels a day, driving oil prices up possibly by 35%. That's a medium disruption. What's 35% of $90? Another $30, so we'd be at $120 a barrel from 40. In a large disruption scenario, 1973. You all have heard me talk about it, and many of you have lived through it. Gas lines, rationing, license plates, odd and even numbers. Some days you were not legally allowed to go buy gas. It's coming, in my opinion. The global oil supply would shrink by 6 to $8 million, 8 million barrels a day, and prices could go up by 56 to 75%, or $140 to $157 a barrel. So, yeah. Hang on to your sombreros. If I got anybody wearing one listening. And that takes me back, let me see here. Make sure I don't have anything. Here we go. Socialism works so well. People build boats from trash to escape it. There you go. Put in your quiver. So anyway, here we go. Here's another one. Never mind the football player's check. Why should a waitress who did not attend college have to pay the student loan of a lawyer making $300,000? That's a good question. Yeah, Melvita, Trump said they were going to get up to $10, and I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Let me get Scam Stankman Fraud off there. I don't want to see him again there. So anyway, that brings me back to what we had at the beginning as far as investments go. Wait a minute, what's this one? What's this? Oh, police state, you say. Clay Travis, when I took over Rush Limbaugh, I talked to him about him last night, the great Air Rush Show. When I took over the Rush Limbaugh time slot, they said, expect the IRS to audit you every year. There's a Democrat in office. Guess what just arrived? My first ever IRS audit. Amazing timing. The Biden administration is the most corrupt in our lives. And then he added, just a reminder, Joe Biden's own son didn't pay taxes on millions of income for years, and our government agreed to forego any punishment at all for him. In fact, he still hasn't been charged with a single crime for this. Yeah, but they're going to slap around somebody who's in Rush Limbaugh's time slot. And remember this guy, Leo Terrell? Leo Terrell. Just a little something here. Great to see Leo Terrell at the police state screening with Dinesh D'Souza and Dan Bongino. Devin Nunes with Leo Terrell. Leo Terrell used to puke me out. I'd see him come on TV. I'd say, oh my, I don't want to listen to this guy. And he would talk real fast, like that one guy that was on CNN. I forget, Lamont Hill. I think Lamont, was that, am I right? He talked real fast. Mark Lamont Hill. This guy was second only to Mark Lamont Hill for fast talking garbage. Well, he's turned completely around now. He's seen the light. So there is hope. And he is a nice person. It's just that liberalism makes you nuts. Okay? It makes you act like a nasty person and think like a nasty person. When you break away from it, your life's much better. I'm just a word to, just in case any wandering liberal comes across this broadcast. I come in peace, okay? I'm trying to make your life a little better. No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make your life a hell of a lot better. So you don't end up like this. Right here. Okay? So, anyway. So Leo, and Mark Lamont Hill, the last I heard from him, do you all, before I say it, and spell it kooky if you know, the last thing we ever heard from Mark Lamont Hill, well, the last we heard from Mark Lamont Hill was that he fell ill to the Dr. Fauci experiment, and I don't know what, last I saw, it was a picture of him in the hospital. So anyway, back to the beginning of the video. I had this up, right? I called my stockbroker this morning and asked him, what should I be buying? He said, canned goods. Do I have any wandering liberals out in the audience that may be too shy to speak? I do appreciate you tuning in. And if you're out there, maybe I'm talking to the wind and there's nobody out there listening, thinking about what they've done with their life, what they've done, arguing with their family members. But I am going to play, and a lot of you have seen it. Don't Leave Me. It's not very long. It's what I'm going to close the video out. But I don't know if it's going to be played as evidence someday. Okay? And if it is played as evidence, you all make sure you tell your friends. Mountain Man has been showing this clip for over almost 2 years from Nancy Pelosi. Okay? She calls it a tactic. It's criminal. It's libel. It's in some cases what they call BLOO and then the last letter is D, libel. That means when you say something that causes people to get hurt. Okay? So, I want to thank Camperman for helping me out with buying me a coffee. I'm going to go live. I might go live if I get a notion tomorrow. I don't know. But if I do, join me. And make sure you hit the notification bell. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And you all pay attention to this now. And like I said, when it's on a big screen at the military commissions being played, and Nancy's sitting there with her headphones on, looking like a little shriveled raisin with claws for fingers and handcuffs, having to listen to herself, you all can say, Mountain Man was playing this. So you all have a great night. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. I'll be seeing you all soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic.